Well, it's wonderful to be back here in Gladstone, and today my government is very pleased to announce our Queensland hydrogen industry strategy. I've just returned from 2 days in Japan where I was able to sign an agreement, a memorandum of understanding for a JOGMEC, which is the Japanese Oil and Gas Minerals Investment Corporation that works with the government to work very closely with Queensland in the development of a hydrogen industry. A hydrogen industry is really important for Queensland. In Queensland, we were able to produce the LNG industry where you've got $60 billion worth of investment on Curtis Island. This hydrogen investment strategy now means that Queensland can be the gateway for hydrogen for all of Australia. This means thousands of jobs and the potential for us to pursue a market with Japan, but also open up other markets. I've also had the opportunity during the year to also visit Germany, where hydrogen is a key component in railways and in cars. Here in Queensland, if we can continue to develop and work with Northern Oil, CSIRO, and really develop this industry, we have the potential to export hydrogen to the Asia Pacific region. This is great news for regional Queensland. Gladstone helped Queensland deliver the LNG industry. Gladstone can be the epicentre of delivering the hydrogen industry here for Queensland as well. And I really want to commend all of the work that's happening. So today I'm announcing that my government will be investing $19 million in the upcoming state budget for key aspects of our hydrogen strategy. And that means opportunities to grow more jobs, to develop the innovation, and to come up with a transportable source of renewable hydrogen, which will, of course, benefit Queenslanders, Australia, and the Asia Pacific region for many years to come. Let me make it very clear. Japan is absolutely wanting to partner with Queensland. This has been very clear in my conversations that I've had with key industry stakeholders in the last 48 hours in Japan. Next week, I'm sending the Minister for State Development, Cameron Dick, to the International Hydrogen Conference that will be in Japan, in Tokyo. Minister Dick will outline to the international community our plans to grow this industry. I'll now hand over to Cameron to say a few words, and I'm quite sure Glenn and the Mayor will want to say a few words.
Hydrogen is the new energy wave of the future, and we're going to ride it in Queensland to create more jobs. Our vision is for Queensland to lead Australia in hydrogen production and to be the hydrogen exporter of choice to the world. This strategy is an invitation to industry and says Queensland is open for investment when it comes to hydrogen. As the Premier said, two of our biggest trading partners, Japan and South Korea, are leading the hydrogen revolution internationally. That's why I've been invited to Japan next week to launch our state strategy internationally. We'll be taking the Queensland strategy to the world next week, and we'll be taking it to the biggest potential hydrogen market in the world, Japan. Our relationship with Japan goes back for many, many decades now, and we can continue to strengthen that relationship in the future through hydrogen. Hydrogen also has the potential to create a large number of jobs in regional Queensland. In a city like Gladstone, there is enormous potential for hydrogen to be produced and exported to the world from here. We have renewable energy that's going into this community through our state development area. We've got a highly skilled workforce. We've got a council and community who support this sort of development, and we can create more jobs and more investment. We've also got the infrastructure that supports the development of this industry, and of course with LNG we have shown the world that we can export our gas to the world. So this is another gas that can make a huge difference to Queensland, and we are now leading the nation, and across the nation people will know Queensland is the place to invest, and we're going to send that message to the world as well.
A $19 million investment here in Gladstone in the hydrogen strategy for Queensland. It's great to have the Premier here with us making these type of announcements in Gladstone City. We know that we have workers here that can do this work. We know that we're sending our workers all over Australia to do construction jobs. We want to bring our workers home. We want to make sure that those people who live in Gladstone can have job opportunities right here in the Gladstone area. And this hydrogen strategy will certainly develop this industry into the future, which means that those people can come home to their families. What we're also seeing here in Gladstone is a renewable hub of Australia happening right here. Recently, as yesterday, we announced the DA approval for a $500 million solar farm in the state development area. We have some of the best land available under our government for development of businesses coming into Gladstone. And this is now another straw in our hat that we can say we are now moving to another renewable future for Gladstone. Let me make it clear. We know that this is the industry of the future. We know that as a Labor government, we got the LNG industry to start here in Gladstone. This is the next major industry to come for Australia and to come for Queensland and to be delivered here in Gladstone.
We can really secure this industry. This is the equivalent of the LNG. So we're talking tens of thousands of jobs. We're gearing up for this, and as we know very clearly, Japan has very clear targets. They're working on bringing the price down. Other countries are utilising hydrogen at the moment, and Queensland stands on the cusp of being the epicentre of this future industry.
Obviously, Queensland has a reputation for coal and metal industries. What do you think this will do to push up its profile as a renewable country?
Yeah, well, I think what it clearly shows is that Queensland is absolutely a resource-rich state. Okay, so we have our coal, we have our gas, and we have our renewables. No other state in Australia can match us when it comes to being resource-rich. And what we are doing is we're actively pursuing the new technologies. Now, you look back to before LNG. Everyone said it can't be done, it's not possible. But Queensland did it. Queensland set up a $60 billion investment in terms of creating an LNG industry, and now we are second to Qatar in terms of our exports of LNG to the world. So Queensland has done it before, and we can do it again.